Waluigi!
We're gonna look at something fun today. I made a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe item tier list. So how exactly does one decide what item is better than the rest? We must ask, what is the purpose of items? It is to assist you in your quest to finish in first place. With that in mind, it makes sense that my list is ordered by their average impact on your race and position while keeping versatility in mind. Go ahead and tell me how right and insightful or how wrong and delusional I am after the video. I am confident in my opinion considering I've played over 1,000 collective hours across the Mario Kart franchise. Let's get right into it with the obvious worst item in the game, the coin. This is the only inherently bad item. It rewards 2 coins to your count for a higher maximum speed, and is given very commonly to first place, providing players a way to softly keep their lead. But here's the issue. First place already gets first grabs at coins on the track, meaning they won't have trouble getting to 10 otherwise. On top of that, item distribution in this game is chaotic, as it's based purely on distance from first place. Sadly, second place doesn't have to be very far behind to get triple reds on top of another item. First place can't even consistently defend against 2 single red shells. Their item slots always have coins in them. They're simply in the way. The other item worthy of an F is Blooper. It inks everyone in front of you, making it difficult to see their screen and lowering their traction. However, the debuff can be washed away. Players familiar enough with track layouts will see past the ink and it isn't slippery enough to make a notable impact. Moving into D tier, we have the lowly banana. It certainly has its place, but it's weak nonetheless. It's best for defense but can be plopped on hard to avoid spots like narrow bridges, on item boxes, or boosting glider pads. Bananas can also be thrown forward in hopes for a sweet snipe. They are small and tracks are wide, so avoiding this trash is a cinch. The first of the 4 original items in Mario Kart 8, Boomerang Flower. This item is similar to a green shell as it can be thrown in a line forward or backward, but it has a smaller hitbox, lower range, and doesn't act as a good defense. The flower is especially bad on curves, making it a worse item despite its 3 uses. The single green shell will be rounding out D tier. They are a staple defense that makes passing risky with its large hitbox that can be thrown forward if they do. It also bounces off walls several times before breaking. It is a solid item but won't make much of an impact compared to other items. The worst of the triple items, bananas. The bananas circle you like shells would, but their hitboxes are smaller. Therefore, they aren't able to consistently block items and are more avoidable. Shells can get through your circle! At least 3 is better than 1. Next up we have the iconic mushroom. More speed is always welcome. It allows you to take shortcuts you normally couldn't and provide instant acceleration after a crash. Its impact is low unless you pull off a dope shortcut, so it sits low on the list. The item that somehow managed to get into Smash Bros, Piranha Plant. This item feels a bit like Mario Kart 7's Tanuki Leaf, but worse. It has high offensive capabilities but none of the defense for an amount of time. During this time, you're completely open to attack and doesn't allow you to take shortcuts with its small boost, but hey, at least it eats bloopers. The extra speed and nasty attacks are enough to put Piranha in the middle of C tier. Red Shell may be in the lower half of the list, but is not to be slept on. This shell simply homes in on the player in front of you. The AI is great, so it rarely misses its target. Well, usually. It's great defensively and offensively, and it may discourage players from passing. It's best used in combination with another attack to score a sure strike. Otherwise, it is often blocked. And lastly for C tier, we have Boo, which makes you invincible, invisible, and steals an item from a player ahead of you. This sounds exhilarating at the thought of snatching lightning, but most items you get from this will be a red shell, mushroom, or something weaker. Players tend to use their power items as soon as possible, and Boo is given to the middle of the pack. It really only feels great with the rare shock dodge. We're now in the quote-unquote strong items of the game. The first one is Bob-omb. This touchy item is best at keeping opponents behind you for good, as it can be set backwards for an unavoidable explosion. It can also block items safely when off curves and be thrown uncontrollably in front of you. It has several uses, but aren't all reliable. The most hated item in Mario Kart history, Spiny Shell. It follows the middle of the track, hitting those in its way to hunt down first place. That's all. You toss, it hunts. It's the equivalent of any other shell's strike and may hit 2 or 3 players. It may change positioning for the front of the pack, but impact for the user is lacking. Now to turn up the heat with Fire Flower. It sends up to 10 fireballs in either direction and may burn multiple players or the same one several times. It also breaks items and bounces off walls. It's versatile and difficult to avoid, but it's not much of a downer. Introducing the item that counters the most hated item, Super Horn. Enhancing one of my favorite things in the game, the horn creates a large unblockable sound wave around you, breaking anything or anyone that breathes its air, including spiny shells. It's a solid item, but its bellow is limited to the area near the player. The horn does get forced off of you often due to red shells, boo, and lightning, so those blue shells are still going to find their way to you. Triple green shells will be wrapping up B tier. These provide a huge barrier, causing players to get nervous around you, and it actually blocks items like it should. Unfortunately, you don't get much out of it when players aren't close, so the impact varies. At the end of A tier is Superstar. This increases speed, acceleration, and handling stats by a bit. Gives invincibility while being able to ram into players and go off-road. It's an all-round great item, but it doesn't accomplish a whole lot if there's no shortcuts, lightning to dodge, or players to hit. Next we have the Mobius Crazy 8. It's just a star and then some, but it's complete chaos. You can attempt to time your items, or spam the item button like most people. It's not much more powerful than a star. It's hard to get max use out of this, and its other items don't make a large enough impact to put this any higher on the list. Triple mushrooms will let you speed to succeed. Obtaining this rewards large potential to catch up, especially when shortcuts are present. This may single-handedly let you pass many players, but the items ahead are better at gaining a lead. Triple red shells. This is my most hated item in the game. If shot all at one player, they are almost sure to take a hit or two. They show up in second or third place if the front runner is just a little too far ahead all too often. This, coupled with the fact that you can hold 2 items at a time, makes this oppressive as hell. Players just don't have the tools to counterplay this in the front half of the pack. All that on top of a barrier defense it provides and the ability to throw backward makes for an insane item. The third best item goes to Lightning. You have a lot of control with this as it strikes everyone except you, taking their items and speed. Players are affected longer the better position they are in. The effect may be greater depending on how you use it. Maybe when the front of the pack just got their new items, when they're in the air, taking a large shortcut. Lightning is sort of a catalyst to getting ahead. It's best when combined with other power items, but I'm ranking items by their own average impact, not their potential combos. Even though Lightning leaves your item slot when used for potential to pick up 2 new items, it's not enough to put it higher on the list. Runner-up is the Hasty Golden Mushroom. High speed for a crazy 9 seconds is sure to spring you back into the race. To put this into perspective, a mushroom speeds you up for almost 2 seconds and about 5 seconds for 3 mushrooms. Whether there's shortcuts or not, this will make a large impact on your position, assuming you have control of your vehicle like me and don't get hit. The final and strongest item in the game is Bullet Bill. It's even deserving of its own S+ tier. This nasty dude provides the highest speed boost in the game, usually for 7 to 8 seconds, outclassing Golden Mushroom with ease. Gold Shroom may allow for tighter lines and off-roading, but this has invincibility, autopilot while obliterating other players in the way, and guaranteed massive rubber banding. The fact that you can hold this item plus another is insanely powerful. Once this is over with, like the Gold Shroom, you should have another power item which could shove you to the front. This list is focused on racing, but if you really want to know where the feather belongs, it's between the boomerang and banana. You may steal balloons or shines, but it requires close contact with the player to do so. This is quite risky and difficult to aim and time. You're better off using it for other things like wall hops, dodging, or its speed. The rare, safe steal puts it just above the single banana. Did this turn out like you thought it would? What ranking surprised you the most? I did keep this short and sweet, so there's plenty of room for debate in the comments. I'm Dreamy Waluigi, and thanks for watching.